Everybody, welcome back to the fourth and final review of my Civil War movie collection. I will be talking about the 1993 Gettysburg movie. Stars Jeff Daniels, Tom Berenger, and Martin Sheen. Basically, it was filmed in the town of Gettysburg, as well as around Adams County, which Gettysburg is actually in. Pretty much, Lee comes up, decides to invade the North. That one good victory on northern soil will win the battle for us. Win this war for, the South. So John Buford, played by Sam Elliott, actually rides in the day prior to the July 1st, because he knows that Confederate soldiers are coming in. And he said there's going to be a battle, So first, July 1st comes, and Buford comes in, the Confederate soldiers, and Buford holds them off until John Reynolds, comes up with some Union soldiers. And said as long as you can hold until the rest of them come up, we're set. Unfortunately, on the first day of July 1st, Buford holds them off long enough for other Union troops to come into Gettysburg, but unfortunately, because the Confederacy has won the first day. It's proven, no question about the Confederates won the first day, but gave the Union soldiers enough time to get into Gettysburg, because they knew that this was going to probably be a few more battles at Gettysburg. On the second day, which is huge, and if you see my one video about the Chosen Farm, which is my ancestors, I explain what happened there. But also that's when Chamberlain, played by Jeff Daniels, shows up and positions the 20th Maine on Lower Round Top. This was huge. Chamberlain's, firing down at the Confederacy and everything. Third day of the battle is probably the most famous, known as Pickett's Charge. Pickett is played by Stephen Lang, who 10 years later will go on to play Stonewall Jackson, Gods and Generals, the prequel to Gettysburg. One thing I really want to say about Pickett's Charge is that Tom Berenger plays Longstreet, pretty much knows this is going to be a disaster. He, no matter what he does, this is what Lee wants, played by Martin Sheen. We need to do this, we need to push through the middle. They will break. But as you watch this movie, you can tell by Longstreet's face and the way he carries himself at the one scene when he's talking to Pickett, along with other men, other generals who were at Gettysburg for the Confederacy. He knows this is going to be a disaster. A Confederate spy named Harrison, he actually said to Harrison, You know what's going to happen there? You know what's going to happen? They're going to get slaughtered. And that's exactly what happened at Pickett's Charge. And if you haven't seen this movie, sorry, spoilers. Like I said, it's been out since 1993. But it's well worth the watch. It's a 4 hours long movie. It's very well made. Like I said, my Gods and Generals video, that, you know, the Gods and Generals in Gettysburg, they focus on the men that fought the war. They showed, you know, the tragedy of what war is. You know, they sort of like, they understood whenever they did these two movies, Gods and Generals and Gettysburg, yes, the Civil War was about slavery, but it's also about brother against brother, American against American. And I think, and I hate to repeat this, you know, I'm not, you know, sometimes I don't like to repeat myself in the same video on certain things, but that's one thing that we have to remember when we study the American Civil War. Yes, it is about slavery. You know, the Civil War is always about slavery, but it's also about Americans versus Americans. We were killing each other. We might be killing our best friend who fought on the other side, whether your best friend was fighting for the North or fighting for the South. I want you to picture that. If you watch this movie, I want you to picture that in your mind. I could be facing a friend. I could be facing my brother on that other side. He might be in that, you know, regiment over there. He might get, you know, it just blows my mind, like, we were doing this to our own people, our neighbors. And one story that every time I watch it that always sticks out to me is the Hancock and Armistead story. Hancock, you know, plainly says, you know, we all, Reynolds, Armistead, and we came up from the Mexican-American War 20 years prior to the shots being fired at Fort Sumter in 1861. They were close. They were really close together. They were like brothers. And Hancock loses Reynolds on the first day of the battle, which they actually show in this. He's actually killed by a Confederate sniper. Armistead is wounded on the third day of Pickett's charge. A few days later, he dies. Those three friends, Hancock is the only one that survived the entire American Civil War. One thing that's very disappointing, and I wish that they would have included it in this, was Jenny Wade's house. No, she actually, my one other video is pretty much about Jane Wade. She had a friend who fought for the North Side, and she had a friend that fought for the South. It's sad that they did not include that in this movie, at least showing, you know, her home, because she was on the third day, the final day of the battle. She was shot through two doors of her sister's house, through her chest, went through her back, through her chest, and she died instantly. I can understand why they left it out, but I wish that they would have put that in, because she is the only civilian to die at the Battle of Gettysburg. I have done that video on her, so you know, if she hasn't seen that, I highly recommend going back. You know, watch it. Watch that. Watch the film. Watch my video about Hancock, Armistead, and Reynolds. So, all together, I just want to close out that this is a good movie. It is probably, I rank this as the best Civil War movie. That I watch it every year. I always watch it around July. This has to be my #1 movie to watch if it comes to Civil War movies. I will watch this if this is ever. If it was on TV, I would probably watch it even if it wasn't on in July. If I caught it on TV, you know, if I missed some, it doesn't really matter. You know, I have it. So I hope you enjoyed this, and I will, in my next video, I will pretty much put them in how to watch them to get like a good Civil War experience. So you can I'll show you different ways you can watch them, but hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you next time.